Greetings, Steno.
Your codex has been updated.
Welcome back. Well, assuming my video, there we go. All right. Welcome back to Warframe TOG. We're in Act 6, which is the late game stuff. We are doing post-New War content. So if you have not done the New War or any of the post-New War content, there may be spoilers for any of that. So right now we are in the midst of the end of year event, Prime Resurgence event. That is kind of the key to what is going on right now. There are things called Vanguard relics and things. I'll show you Varzia real quick, because this is where everything is decided. It is right now 4:29 p.m. Eastern time. In the United States, in Florida, where I live. And as you can see,
no guarantees with void relics.
In 2 days and 21 hours, which puts it at basically 1 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday, her current Prime Resurgence is going away. Now, Prime Resurgence for the end of the year is a big thing in this case. We, for the first time, have a special type of relic. And this is the only time it will be offered. It will not be offered after this 2 days and 21 hours is over. And these Vanguard relics have 6 Warframes amongst them. These 4 relics you can get 6 Warframes out of. Okay. We already have one of them built. Protea. Caliban. Excuse me. Caliban, we have most of the pieces for. You can see we have the Caliban Prime Neuroptics, the Caliban Prime Blueprint, the Caliban Prime Chassis. The only thing we're missing is the systems from this relic. And it is not vaulted. So we can also get these Caliban Prime systems blueprints from other relics that are available right now. So it is not as important as the other things. Okay. So we are focused on getting Ember, Bolt, Ash, and Mesa. Okay. Now, last time we did things, okay, we actually got some Aya. If you look right now, we have 5 Aya, okay, to purchase things with. And I could start purchasing these and start cracking these right now, but we have a very limited amount of time. I have time to stream right today, this afternoon. I have time to stream this evening. I may be able to stream tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening to some extent. Possibly not tomorrow evening. I may be able to stream on Wednesday evening. Okay. And that's it. Once we've gotten through that, that's all we get for these Vanguard relics. Now, in addition to all the Vanguard relics and those Warframes, there are other Warframes available right now. There are 4 more sets of normal Prime Resurgence relics. The Lith, the Meso, those ones. Okay. Each of those has one of those 4 Warframes I just mentioned. Mesa. This one has Mesa, but it also, in addition to having Mesa, has another Warframe available on it. In this case, Hydroid. So these 6 relics give us access to not just Mesa, another way of getting Mesa, but also a way of getting Hydroid Prime. Okay. Plus weapons that are related to them, such as Redeemer Prime and some other things. I'm not as concerned about the weapons. Okay. Now, these 6 relics are especially noteworthy because they have Ash Prime, as we've mentioned, is one of those. Okay. But they also have Carrier Prime, which is a companion. and a good one to have. And they have a Naros Prime, which is another good Warframe to get that we don't even have in regular mode. Okay, so Naros and Ash on this set of 6 relics. Okay, in this set of 4 relics, okay, we have also 3 things that we're interested in. There's Volt Prime, there's Odonata Prime, which is a Prime Arcwing. Okay, there's Loki Prime. There's actually 4 things in this set that we care about. And there's Worm Prime. Worm Prime is another companion. Okay, so there's actually 4 things out of these 4 relics that we'd like to get. Are you sensing a theme yet? And then finally, in these 4 relics, we have 2 things. We have Ember Prime, which is the 4th of those, the Prime Vanguard ones, the Vanguard relics. And Frost Prime, which would also be nice. This one just has weapons. It doesn't have anything extra that we really need to have. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff for us to get in this Prime Resurgence. And not a lot of time for us to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy relics. We're going to farm Aya. We're going to buy relics. Okay. We're also going to farm relics and crack them for void traces so that we can radiant things. Okay. I might open some relics because there's an interesting little side thing going on in here. Let me bring up my notes real quick so that I have them. Okay. So, oh, and yes, I think that's all of them. Did I miss anything? No, Frost Prime was the last one to look at. There's other stuff here, okay, that is available for Aya. Most of it is going to be going away. There's decorations, there's skins, there's all kinds of crazy things. There's a color palette. Just a huge amount of stuff. And if that's not bad enough, a similar set of Warframes is going to become available in part 2 of her offerings in 3 days. Okay. So we've got a lot of stuff we'd like to get. These 4 relics will never come back. These other relics will come back briefly for a couple of days, I think 2 days, at the end of the Varzia's Offerings Part 2. Okay. All of the relics that were available, except for the Vanguard relics, will be available for a brief period of time. So if you miss something, there's a chance of getting it again. Okay. We just have to save Aya and be ready. Okay. For the chance to come up. Now, interesting thing, when you put 6 Warframes into 4 relics, the rarity of some of the things changes. You can't get them all to be exactly the same. There's no way to put 6 rare elements on 4 relics. Just not possible. So a few things are actually easier to get. In particular, if we look at Vanguard E1 here. Oh, nope, cancel. I'm just hovering over it. Okay. All right, that Vanguard E1. All right. That Volt Prime Chassis Blueprint, which we already have, fortunately. If we look down, I think it's Meso 03. Here, Volt Prime Chassis Blueprint is uncommon. Okay. There's a few cases where we're going to take advantage of that. I really want to get some Vanguard P1 relics because the Vanguard P1 has, as an uncommon, the Volt Prime Neuroptics, whereas the Neo V8, where's the Neo V8? There it is. That's a rare, normally. So we can get it at a much higher chance of it dropping by getting these Vanguard P1 relics. Okay. Similarly, let's see, what else do we have that is similar to that? I believe Ash Primes, Vanguard C1, the Ash Prime systems, okay, versus the Neo A10
I miss the
relic. Where is that? This one here. That's a rare. But on the Vanguard C1, it's an uncommon. Much higher chance of us getting it. Okay. So we're going to take advantage of those and focus on those at the start. I'll also notice the Vanguard P1. You notice that Ash Prime Neuroptics blueprint that's sitting there in the common section. Okay. On the Mezzo P12, it's an uncommon. So it's even easier to get some of these things by getting the Vanguard P1s, okay, and the Vanguard E1s and C1s. By getting basically those Vanguard relics and using them as much as possible, we will increase our chances of getting those Warframes, okay? Now, I'm not going to buy any of them right now, even though I have 5 Aya. We need more Aya. We're going to get a lot of Aya before we're done here. Okay? All right. So that was the introduction to this whole mess. Let me just make sure my chat is up and running. So it is. Okay.
A new quest is available in your codex.
Couple other things to notice. There's a comment here saying Daggett alerts will begin January 14th. That's something to be aware of. Today is the 12th. Okay. So on the 14th, which is Wednesday, we're also going to start getting alerts. We're going to get weekly alerts for 4 weeks to get for 3 or 4 weeks. I don't remember which. To get the parts that we need to build Daggett. That's kind of really a useful thing that we want. We want to get Daggett parts. If we can, they're hard to acquire and hard to build. So we'll be very happy to make use of those alerts. And then the last thing I'm going to cover here is, of the things that we're going to do, is the very first thing I'm going to start doing here is we notice you have a bunch of things that we built. We built Forma. I'm going to build another Forma, I think. Nope, because I don't have another Forma blueprint. I'll get some. I have an Orkan Catalyst. Okay. I believe... Oh, I do have to cover one more thing. But before I do, let's look here.
When in Cetus, do not drink the kombucha. You are incapable of producing the hydraulic effort required to unstick your tongue from the
I believe last time I could not build the Orkan reactor, that blueprint that we got from a invasion, because I was missing the neural sensor. But oh, lo and behold, today's bonus login benefit was a neural sensor. So I'm going to start building that right now. We will have to farm more neural sensors. The main thing I'm going to do today from my foundry is I'm going to build take Titania out for a spin. I've been wanting to do Titania, use Titania for a very long time now. I was very disappointed when the quest that you get Titania for behaves a lot differently. It's a lot harder to do because you no longer have Helios automatically scanning and getting the plants for you, because that's not how you get plants anymore. You get plants by picking them. And there is actually a way to do that with a another companion that we can get from Fortuna once we are at rank 5 with Solaris United. And an augment that we can get from Cephalon Samaris. We actually, I think, we might have already gotten the augment. I don't remember if I picked it up yet. If we haven't, we'll pick it up soon because I think we have enough standing. But Titania is what I like to consider my fast frame. There's a lot of different Warframes out there for speed that are built for speed, but Titania is kind of unmatched in a lot of ways. Volt's nice, but he's got to run on the ground. Titania flies. Titania flies very well. Okay. Makes a very small target. Has the additional benefits of being able to use some very good weapons when in flight form. And has these flies that can kill things for you just by flying through a room. Okay. At least at low levels. At higher levels, they more harass than kill. Okay. So I'm going to take up Titania. Titania is going to be our go-to for things like capture missions in the future, and maybe rescue missions, and certain other types of things like that. Titania will also be extremely useful in completing certain mastery rank challenges, because being able to fly, wonderful thing for mastery rank tests. Okay, so I'm going to claim Titania. I need a slot, so I'm going to get that slot. And I'm going to claim her. All right, so I now have Titania. Okay. And just as with Nova and Wukong, I'm going to get a loadout slot for Titania. Okay. And we are going to click here. We're going to call this Titania. Okay. We're going to set it as our current loadout, and we're going to swap out Nova for Titania. Where are you? Oh, probably at the top. There we go. Yeah. All right. So we have Titania. We have weapons. Okay. Titania, if we upgrade her, okay, you will see that Titania, one thing that came up, Barricadier came this weekend. On Friday, while I was waiting to get on my cruise ship, because I was on a weekend cruise, that's why I didn't stream this weekend, I had enough Wi-Fi to be able to log on and see what Barricadier had. And Barricadier had some nice stuff. Let's look at new rarity. Let's go by rarity. And we got a thing called Prime Continuity. Prime Continuity is one of the most used things that I throw on to some stuff right now. It is not the most used in... There are other ways of doing duration, but it is a very, very useful one to have. If I had a legendary core, if I had two legendary cores, Prime Flow and Prime Continuity would be maxed out right now. We don't have the money or the endo. We need a lot more endo to really max these out. But I can take this, and I can probably go to about rank 7 without too much trouble and not spending too much. Actually, I'll go to rank 8. There we go. All right. So that's better than our normal one. And I'll do the same thing with Prime Flow for the same reason. The last two ranks, very expensive. Don't spend your endo or your money on those early on. Wait up a bit. Okay. So now I have a Prime Continuity and a Prime Flow. Okay. We'll want those. All right. Let's take a look at Titania. Titania's passive. Basically, every time she casts an ability, she gets health for herself and allies. This makes her very survivable. As long as you're casting abilities, she's going to keep building up health, generating health, and being very survivable. And that's just not counting the abilities themselves. Okay. Now, Spellbind Spellbind is a useful thing. Let me see if I can remember how this works. Okay. Spellbind is a useful thing to have. All right. Now, one thing you could do is you can cast Spellbind on a target. That's the default. If you just hit your one, it casts it on a target. The target gets whisked into the air, and all your nearby allies become immune to status effects. For Titania, okay, if you hold your one down when you cast it, instead, you're going to get that immunity on yourself. This is really useful to have on Titania. Not being immune to status effects is a big thing, okay? Because that will stop status procs from magnetic, from toxin, from lasers, from radiation, all the things that could possibly cause status to you. Now, it won't stop damage, the direct damage, but it'll stop the damage over time. And that's a big thing, okay? So Spellbind, okay, is a very useful skill to cast on yourself. It's okay to cast on others, okay? Generally speaking, I don't cast it on creatures because it's the radius for it, the nearby allies for it, okay, are based on where it is, not where you are. And if you're playing Titania, you're moving around all the time. Okay. Tribute. Tribute is the toughest one to explain because it's actually 4 different abilities. They're all buffs. Every one of them is a buff. Okay. The way you cast this, like every multi-ability, okay, is you're going to press it once very quickly to rotate between the abilities. You'll see a set of icons on the right side corresponding to the 4 abilities. Okay, the 4 abilities in this case, all right, are Thorns. Thorns gives you damage reduction of 50%. Very useful. Okay. Dust. Dust decreases. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Thorns reduces incoming damage. Dust decreases the enemy's hit chance. Okay. So it makes it harder for them to hit things. Okay. Full Moon, okay, increases your companion's damage, health, and armor. So your companion's damage goes up by 75%, its health goes up by 50%, its armor goes up by 50%. Okay. And finally, the last buff that you can put out is Entangle. And what that's going to do is it's going to slow enemies within the effect radius. Okay. By a certain amount. It does not cost much to cast. It does a little bit of damage in the process of doing its tribute. Okay. It has a period of time where the debuff applies, which is that's 6 seconds by default. And then you have the effect radius. Look at that effect radius, 35 meters base. You could have a tribute affect a huge area. Look at the effect duration. That's 120 seconds. Now, I believe those are not affected by mods. I believe those are fixed. That 35 meters is fixed. The 120 seconds is fixed. Okay. We'll see when I actually put mods on to show you what the numbers are. But I believe those are fixed, if I remember correctly. Okay. But still, 120 seconds duration for a buff is huge. Okay. So you could conceivably cycle, cast, cycle, cast, cycle, cast, cycle, cast. You press slow, you press long. Okay. The slow press rotates the abilities. The long press triggers the ability on an enemy. Okay. Keeping all 4 of these buffs up in a higher level mission is a very, very good idea. Okay. Gives you a lot of things to work with. Okay. So that's our number 2. There's an additional thing the tribute does. I'll show you it later. I don't know if we have the mod, but we'll look. Number 3 is called Lantern. Lantern basically gives you takes an enemy, all right, and he floats in the air. Oh, wow. He floats in the air. Well, what you don't realize is that when he dies or when the duration ends, he goes boom, okay, and does damage within a radius to everything else, all the enemies within that radius, okay, and he has an attraction radius, so other enemies within that larger attract radius will be brought closer. They'll want to approach and clump together. So not only do you get the ability to blow them up, but they're also clumped together, which is really useful for a number of different purposes. Okay. Honestly, while this is a decent nuke, it's not a super nuke like a lot of other Warframes have. It's okay. And last but not least is the reason we love Titania is Razor Wing. Razor Wing is another mode. Razor Wing, she shrinks down in size to a couple of inches. Okay. Flies around at a very fast rate. Has some razor fly drones at default of 6. Okay. Gets evasion, which means it's harder to hit her because she's tiny. Okay. The drones fly around and do damage to things within an area. And make things more vulnerable. Okay. So anything one of those little bite wing razor flies hits becomes more vulnerable to damage. They basically will take more damage. And it takes a little bit of energy to maintain it. Okay. So it's not the sort of thing that initially we're going to be able to keep up for an extremely long period of time. However, if you've got something like Arcane Energize and you've got a decent amount of energy to start with, and maybe you have some preparation on your Warframe, you can go into an mission and go into the Razor Wing mode at the very beginning and stay there the entire time. Now, downside to Razor Wing. Razor Wing is tiny. It is not an Arcwing. It is its own thing. You cannot pick up anything while you're in Razor Wing mode. You cannot manipulate things like the security consoles and things like that. Okay. However, and this is again a spoiler. Remember, we're talking post-New War stuff here. All right. You can go into operator mode, manipulate the thing in operator mode, and then go out of operator mode, all while staying in Razor Wing. So that can be really, really useful. It's the sort of thing where you're going to pop out for a few seconds to do something like capture the capture target or do this security console, or if you've got a door that has two switches and both switches have to be activated at the same time, you're going to pop up your operator and do that. So that is the real reason we want Titania. Because now, on the other downside of Razor Wing is you do fly pretty quick by default. You've got some very good speed. And because you're in the air, it's a lot more controllable than Volt or any of the other speedsters that are on the ground, in my opinion. However, if you happen to be running and you happen to have somebody like a Volt who speeds you up, Titania might get so fast that you cannot control her very well. We make a lot of jokes about there's a lot of Titania-sized dents in the walls of maps. And that is frequently because some Volt has sped her up and she has gone slam into the wall again. Even when you're not sped up, if you're not careful, you can go slamming into the wall. It's not unusual to have a lot of that kind of thing going on. But when you have a Volt in the party with Titania, and Volt speeds up Titania, it's actually so fast that the display engine can't render it. You move faster than the frames per second that it is displaying. So what I usually do when a Volt speeds me up is I will take my fingers off the shift key and I will slowly tap the movement key in the direction I want to go so that I'm not moving more than a split second at any given time. Okay, so let's look at what affects those. Well, let's start with strength. Where is my intensify? There's an intensify. Okay, so strength isn't going to affect the passive any. It doesn't affect Spellbind. It does affect the damage that Tribute does, but nothing else on Tribute. It affects the damage that Lantern does, but nothing else on Lantern. It does affect the damage that you do in Razorwing. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing about Razorwing. When you're in Razorwing mode, you have 2 exalted weapons. Not just one, but 2 exalted weapons. The Dex Pixia, which is a gun, and I can't remember the name of the melee. The damage here is not really affecting any of that. Okay. So Intensify increases damage. Her abilities do. But that's not usually where you get your damage from as Titania. So it really doesn't help. Strength is not the big thing for her. All right. So let's look at a second thing on her. And that is, let me get it out of rarity mode and go back to drain mode. And let's go for stretch. There's stretch. So range on her. Okay. That's huge. That affects Spellbind. The radius on Spellbind is a little bigger, but the range is bigger. Okay. It affects the range on Tribute, which is another big thing. It has a lot of effects on Lantern. Okay. It affects the range. It affects the radius. It affects the explosion radius. It affects the attract radius. If you're going to use Lantern, stretch is a good thing to have on there, or any increase in range. Okay. It does not have any effect on Razorwing. Again, not the top tier one. Which brings me to continuity. Duration is the most important thing for Titania. I'll put a continuity on here, and we will see that the duration now goes to 14.5 seconds from Spellbind, from it being only 10 seconds. Okay. All right. The debuff duration increases here. Okay. The duration of Lantern increases. All of these things are big, but the most important thing is the drain, the energy per second of your Razorwing drops from 5 to 3.45. Okay. So if there was one thing I would focus on with Titania, it is duration. Okay. Now, that's our main stuff that we want to do here. I'm going to look at our actions. We're going to buy an Orkan reactor. I know we're building one, but it's not built yet. We'll find a use for it, trust me. Okay. I am going to put an aura on this. We need an aura. Now, at this point, I'm not going to. It's not that polarity. I could put melee guidance on there, but melee guidance is not a big thing. There are a couple others that have this polarity that I have to start getting more aura mods from Nightwave, but Dreamer's Bond is perfectly fine for this. I'm going to use that. I'm leaving the prime continuity here. It is the highest use thing on here. I'm going to put prime flow on here. More energy plus more duration means longer Razoring. We absolutely want to do that. And in our empty arcane slots, I'm absolutely going to put Arcane Energized to increase the chance of our getting more energy. Okay. Now, do we need health and shield if we're not easily hit? We might need some shield. I'm going to leave it off for now and see what we can do. Okay. She is not very easily hit because as soon as she goes into that Razor Wing mode, she's 50% harder to hit. Okay. And if you've used your other abilities, okay, you will get reduction on the damage. Okay. So we have flow and continuity on here. That's the two most important things to do here. I could put rage on here. Okay. I don't really see that as being all that useful. Streamline to make it even easier. Okay. My bad. I did not show that Streamline also affects energy per second. Okay. So between Streamline and Continuity, just the two of them together, we've now dropped it by half. It increases the amount we can do by double. Okay. I will throw Prime Redirection on here. I'm going to throw Prime Flow back on. So I gave her a little more shield. Okay. We're starting to get a pretty good set of primes. So I'm very glad that I spent the time when Barricatier came and got this continuity. It was a key purchase. I saw it out there. I said, this is one of the most important purchases we're going to get because it's useful in so many places. Now, what else can we do here? Well, if we look at duration, okay, we have other things that can give us duration. Look, we have continuity. We can't put that there because we have prime continuity. But Augur Message is a separate thing. I can put Augur Message on here and increase my duration even further. And now I'm down to 2 per second. Just over 2. Okay. I have Nearest Hatred, which is another 10%, and it gives us more health. Okay. Do I have another one? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go and I'm going to rank this up to 5. And it might have to be removed. Oh, no, doesn't have to be removed by anything. I'm going to throw that on there. Okay. So now I have some more health. Okay. Plus more duration. We're now down below 2 per second. Okay. So we have energy galore. All right. On here. The only other thing I could throw on here at this point that might be of any use, okay, would be something like I could let's see, do I have it? I don't know if I have it. Let's see. I don't think I do. No. There is actually something that reduces strength. Okay. But increases duration. I believe. I don't remember what the name of it is. Strength just isn't important. We can reduce the amount of damage we do with these. That's not that important. Okay. On this. But just because I can, I'll throw Intensify on here just for a little bit of strength. So we now have a Warframe that has a lot of energy. Okay. Has a decent shield, decent health, decent duration, decent efficiency, decent strength, an okay strength. Okay. Blind Rage would be counterproductive. We can increase our strength, but we don't want it on this Warframe. That's not as important. We do have to go look for some of the other corrupted mods soon. Okay, so we actually we're going to get some more capacity once we rank her up. Okay, I'm going to throw one more Arcane on her. Now we have a couple of choices here. All right. I'm going to throw Arcane Barrier on here. What that does is when the shield is damaged, we have a chance of instantly restoring all shields. Okay. It's not as good as... Arcane Awakening. No, that's on reload. Critical hit. I'd have to check and see. I don't know if Arcane Acceleration applies to the Dex Pixia or not. I'd have to go look. Let's see. We aren't going to use melee. We can use melee as her. We're not likely to use it as much. Very, very rarely do you need to do that. I think it's going to be Arcane Nullifier for right now, just to avoid magnetic status effects when you don't have your number one up. Okay. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to say equip. And we're going to leave it like that. All right. So we have a Titania.
Ready for action.
Oh, and while we're at it, hello, we have other things we can rank up. I have Death Cube that's max rank, but we've got other companions. I'm going to put Carrier on here. Carrier's a useful thing. We'll find a couple of uses for Carrier in the near future. I think Carrier's... I can't tell. Oh, there we go. Standard issue Sweeper is the one for Carrier, so we'll make sure that that one is in there. We'll upgrade Sweeper. Sweeper is a shotgun, so we can just put the point blank on there. And as you can tell, it does not do a whole lot of crit or stuff, but it can do some damage. I like putting cold on these things, and maybe radiation with a bigger capacity for the magazine. So we now have cold and radiation. That's where we're going to be for the unranked Sweeper. For Carrier itself, you should be aware if we go... Carrier. Carrier has a very special case here. All right. We have been getting, you notice we have 251 of these mods. It's a very rare mod. It's a very common mod, okay, that is only usable on Carrier. It's called Ammo Case, okay, and what that does, and we'll put it here, is it will increase your ammo capacity and convert ammo pickups for ammo for equipped weapons after 5 seconds. So whenever we get ammo pickups, okay, whatever weapons we have equipped, Carrier will convert it appropriately and give us more ammo. We'll find this really useful with the Aceltra Prime when we build that, when we become Master Rank 14. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get rid of that. We like to have a full vacuum on here, obviously. That is really one of the big things. I don't care as much about assault mode. Let's look. We have one more of those polarities left. Coolant link is a nice little thing to add stuff. I like Guardian for carrier. So we'll put Guardian on there. Okay. We'll also have a D polarity. And that one could increase its shield or its health or its armor. All of those are covered in this. It doesn't have an awful lot of armor. It could use a lot more health, and it could use a lot more shield. I'm going to put the shield on there because its health is pretty good, but it doesn't have much shield right now. Okay. All right. So having done all that, we'll look at all of them again here. Animal instinct, we need. But we can't put it on there right now in full, so I'm going to put the smaller one on there. Because we do need to have some way of seeing loot. Okay. Once we rank up carrier, it will be able to do more of that. So we're going to rank up one of those. Weapon-wise, at the beginning, okay, I'm going to leave the arc. Do I want to leave? No, I'm going to switch it out for the Tetra. Because like I said, I would like to get to Mastery Rank 14 sooner rather than later. Okay. The Tetra has a 20% status chance. It's really nothing to write home about. It has very little special ability here. It does have 2 different types of damage, apparently. And I can't remember what it does that causes the different types of damage. Let's see. Lethal energy bolts. All right. So its main thing is it's a status weapon. So what you can do with this one is we can put on wherever it is. Point strike. No. Where is Serration? There we go. Put Serration on here. And then we'll put a status mod of some sort. I'll put high voltage on there. Okay, give it a little bit of extra damage. I have 4 left, which isn't really all that much. Does have an okay. I guess we'll throw a little bit of multi-shot on there. Not much, just a teeny bit for right now. So hit back. That's a Tetra. The Grimoire I'm going to replace too. We happen to have a couple of other weapons that we haven't done here. Let's see what this Quartz is. Okay. So the Quartz has a unique trait. Okay. When we are hip firing, okay, which is we're not aiming, okay, it fires in auto mode. And when you're aiming, it fires in burst mode, okay. And when you reload, it deals electrical status effects to nearby enemies. That could be very useful in certain situations. There are things that trigger based off of an electrical status effect being applied. So in auto mode, it's got a higher status chance. It's got an okay critical chance, and it has built-in electricity. Okay. In burst mode, Okay. It's basically got a much higher critical chance in burst mode than it has. So it does more of a critical thing and less status. All right. So there's a lot of trade-offs with this one. I'm going to give it the Hornet Strike. That's kind of will affect both of them. And with 9 left, I could put a status thing on here, but I tend to aim when I'm doing things, so I'm going to put critical, not damage, critical chance. So, and raise that up to 28.6 here, but now it's at 59.4 here. Okay. We'll leave the paracesis so that I have a weapon to start with, because when I start with Titania, I'm not going to be able to go into Razor Wing mode. All right. So we're going to start by ranking her up. And the way we're going to rank her up, we no longer have any Blood of Paradise missions to rank her up with. Oh, reminds me. Happy New Week. We have a new week of Nor Nightwave. And now, since we've already gotten rank 30, everything else is 15 creds, every further rank. You have your usual 3 enemies here, and your Eximus and your missions. We have Steel Path stuff that we're not going to get to. Finishing a capture mission in less than 90 seconds. Well, guess what? Titania will be superb at doing that in the near future, as soon as we get her ranked fully. Completing bounties in Newer Valis, I will definitely do that this week. Complete 12 conduits in Disruption. Well, guess what? We need relics. That's 12 relics for us that we can crack. Okay? We'll want to do that. Killing enemies with abilities. That will come into play in the near future. Deploying a glyph while on a mission. I don't know if I have one on the gear wheel. I'll have to take a look. And picking up energy orbs we'll just do by generic.
And we're
okay.
out.
So this is going to be a relatively easy week for that. Let me look at my gear wheel. Do I have a glyph on the gear wheel anywhere? Add a gear item. Let's see. I know I have a glyph somewhere in here. I thought I had a glyph here somewhere. Glyph prism. There we go. So I can display my glyph really easily in the mission. And I'm going to take her into Sanctuary Onslaught to rank her up. Which some people are going to look at and say, why are you using Sanctuary Onslaught? Yeesh. But I find it to be useful for ranking up when we don't have Blood of Paradise missions. And guess what? Every 2 rounds in Sanctuary Onslaught gets us a relic. Have I mentioned we need to collect more relics? It's on my list. There's a lot of relic opening that's going to need to be done. We're going to need a whole lot of void traces. So, in addition to getting the relics from Varzi... Why is this so slow? I must be connecting to a group that is running fairly slowly. Now let's see what happens. Hello, hello. You going to connect me? All right. So we don't have much we can do here right now. I'm going to do that. We're basically surviving through doing shields and all that other stuff. There's not a lot we're doing. I can use my one. Our one is actually doing enough damage to kill some of these guys. All right, so there's our 2. Now watch. We do a 2 to schedule it. Rotates between the 4 different things. As soon as I go through the conduit, I will show you how the 2 works. All right. So the 2 requires us to have a target first. You got to have a target. If you don't have a target, there's not much you can do. And you have to hold it down. Okay, notice once that happens, we get 112 seconds of that buff. Now, it's a tribute. You actually have to go to where that thing is right now. Let's see if I can do one of these before somebody dies. I've got to actually hit somebody before they die. Which is easier said than done. There we go. There we go. Alright, I've collected my tribute from that one. And I'll rotate it. Now we have Lantern available. That's Lantern. It does make it easier to do the next tribute. But you can't do it in the guy who has the Lantern. You go on the guy who's attracted to the Lantern. Okay. I need another one. All right, we've got all our tributes. But Thorns is almost run out. So now we're rotating and doing Thorns again. Okay. Trust me, this will be a lot easier when they're surviving longer, which right now they aren't. And B, we are in our Razorwing mode. Up, we've lost our Thorns. Yep, let's go to Zone 3. Everything gets reset as we go to a new zone, unfortunately, because that's the way this works. Already dead. Which one am I missing? I'm missing that one. Hello, where is it? Alright, so now we've got all of our tributes up and running, but we are not yet ready to do our 4.
Looks like some serious crud is going
This
down
one looks
out
like the
there.
one to replace
Here's
right
to
now.
you, anonymous troublemaker.
And as soon as you go there and collect it, you've got your tribute. It does some damage. So it's an effective attack ability. Alright. Zone 4. And we're doing pretty good. But we haven't gotten our 4 yet because we're still only at rank 8. You just have to find a good target. There we go. Or one that'll survive long enough for you to cast it. Not running into any trouble with that. Well, that's the first ability thing that we've managed to kill him with. We'll go up to the next one. We are now ranked 10. Are we ready for this? Oh, and we ended up on a very bad spot. Fine. Welcome to There's some energy. That's what we needed. Nullifiers, not good. You gotta watch out for the nullifiers. Now, right now, because there's our Dex. Oh, are we? Our Dex Pixia is not all that. It's not modded at all right now. It's very, very limited in what it can do. Oh. Bloody nullifiers. Alright, the way you can deal with nullifiers, you get way up in the air. Come on. Oh, I gotta be a bit of range. Okay. You may notice that we do have a couple of these bite wings. And the other thing to be aware of is we are not having to go and do our stuff anymore. Our flies are collecting our tributes. And those are our flies, by the way. Going around doing damage to things. And there's Zone 5 complete. Now, one, if we hold it, means I don't get any status effects, which is a big, big thing, but it only lasts for about 15 seconds or 16 seconds. There's got to be a way out of here. Okay. Oh, I'm being migrated. I might be the only one left in here right now. You can do... We're going to run out of energy, unfortunately. So we have to go and get some energy. The hard way. There we go. Now, after... There we go. Okay. All those numbers, that's from our razor wing, our bite wing flies. All right. You notice we have all 4 of those up now, and we have 10 flies instead of 6. That is because every one of those buffs that we have up there gives us another fly. And those flies, you can see they're doing damage. They're not doing a huge amount of damage, but they're keeping them busy. And that's what really matters. Now, our efficiency is dropping because we're not killing very fast. And part of that is because we have no mods yet on our Dexpixia. We're doing minimum base damage with the Dexpixia right now, in fact. Now, the Dexpixia has no ammo maximum. Yeah, we're not going to go to the next zone. I'm going to leave it like this. And we finished.
Hunter, The sanctuary will go on without you.
We're at rank 19 now. And we got 3 relics that we can open up. In fact, let's look at those relics real quick. That one we might want the Gyre Prime Neuroptics. This one we've already got, the Nautilus Prime blueprint. This one is another Ureli Prime Neuroptics blueprint. So, see, we did a lot of ranking things up. We maxed out Sweeper in one round. Notice the Dex Pixia ranks itself up separately from Titania. Dex Pixia got to rank 27. I don't know if we did any... The Diwata also ranked itself up. So now, let's go take a look and see what we can do to continue to mod our new Warframe. So Titania. Okay. Oh, nope. I don't need to do that. I need to go and upgrade her. All right. So we have 7 more spaces. I could put a real Intensify on there. That would do more damage for each of those flies. Okay. But another thing, we have a mod here called Razorwing Blitz. Razorwing Blitz increases our flight speed, increases our fire rate whenever we're using abilities, which means if we're flying, we're using an ability. Okay. This can stack up to 4 times, so we can get a fire rate of up to 100% more. Okay. By using Razorwing Blitz. It's a very, very useful thing to have. I'm going to do that instead of the Intensify. I'm going to max it out. And apply the fusion. Okay. So now, okay, it lasts longer. That's the only real change to it, is that it will last longer whenever we use an ability. Which means like when we use our 1 to prevent status effects, or our 2 to get a buff. Okay. We have 4 more spaces. I don't think there's much we can do for 4 spaces. But I'll take a look right now. Let's see. What is this? Jugulus's Carapace. Extra armor and health. I've never seen that one before. Wonder where we got it from. We have Near's Hatred on there. Is there another Near mod that we could add? Would that be effective? I don't even know if we have another Near mod. Oh, it might be a Hatred mod. What happens if I put a more... Oh, I can only have one of the sets. So I can only have one Hatred mod. Okay. There's an Anguish mod. Let's see. Do I have any more Nearer? That's the only Nearer one I have. Boreal, we have Hatred, which is shield and ability efficiency, which is not a bad choice. Might be something better than having this health and duration, so we didn't get our shield dropped at all. But then look at that. It's, oh, hey, I'm sorry. Never mind. This is pretty obvious. Okay, so Boreal's Hatred. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to max that out. We're going to apply the fusion. We're going to replace this with that. What that does is it drops our health back down, but now we have much more shield. Okay. Bonus, we have reduced damage while airborne by 40% by having both of these mods on. Okay. So since we're going to be airborne an awful lot, the Boreals make sense. The gravity while aim gliding, the aim glide while latch duration, not so much important. It's just that extra 20% reduction of damage while airborne is nice. Okay. And if I had the third mod, I might even consider doing that one. So, yeah, that gives us extra shield capacity. It reduces the cost of the energy per second to 1.63. Okay. And that is huge. Once we get started, we will stay in Razor Ring as much as possible if we avoid nullifier bubbles. That's the big problem with it. Okay. You can see, however, even when we max this out, which is going to be, we're going to get another 12 out of this. It's going to need more to be able to completely max it out. We're going to need to put some format into it. So I'm going to go back and do another one of those. But before I do, let's take a look at her melee and her gun. The Dex Pixia is a status weapon. Okay. It has a 5.83 fire rate and a decent magazine. It has automatic reload. It only takes 2/10 of a second to reload. So it's a fire frequently. And because we happen to have made the Warframe have a catalyst, have a reactor, it also gets the benefit of that. So because it's an exalted weapon in its own way. Okay. So obviously we put Hornet Strike on there to increase its damage. Okay. I'm going to put some multi-shot on this. This thing really, really could make use of multi-shot. Okay. We're less concerned with critical because remember, it's only a 10% chance. What we're going to put on there will not have as big of an effect. However, look at this. Augur Pact is a really good choice here. And then we can put things on that give us status, like Jolt. Let's look at other things. Do we have any other status? We really need more 60/60 mods that are damage and status. Sadly, we do not. We have a short shot. It's even rank 3 right now. To increase our status chances. But I'd rather put more damage on this right now since we have it. So I'm going to put the Prime Convulsion on here. I'm going to put some pathogen rounds on here. And actually, we don't need the Prime Convulsion because we have Jolt. So we need Deep Freeze. And I could use some... Oh. I'm going to take that back. We're going to put some radiation on here. Okay. And I'm going to swap things around a little bit. So we have viral and radiation and electricity. And... there we go. So now we have radiation, corrosive, and blast on a single weapon. Okay. Really, really useful to have 3 of those things. This type of accelerated ISIP. Plus, it increases our fire rate. And we're going to get even more increase on fire rate with it. And we still have 4 spaces left that I can go ahead. It's probably time for me to go ahead and start ranking up some of these other mods, such as barrel diffusion. Okay. Now we're doing a lot of damage. I have 3 more that I can use. I'm going to put on 2 more heat and 1 more cold. All right. So now doing a lot of damage, much faster with multi-shot. 40% status chance only, but we'll live with that until we get more 60/60 mods. Okay. And eventually, if we want to put, when this gets ranked up, we can throw on something like well, no, I don't see any good Exilus mods here. Pardon me for a second. Okay, I just needed a sip of something. All right, so we've got a nice Dex Pixia here. Now, we have a Dewata also. The Dewata is a melee weapon. It can be used in our Razorwing mode. Okay. All right. So, just like every melee weapon, it has its things, a heavy attack and a regular attack. It's not bad. 20% critical chance is better than the status, so I would mod this for critical. Just like the weapon, we have the full amount of stuff that we can throw on here. So let us look at what we can do here. We have the mod space. I'm going to throw Sacrificial Steel on here. Okay. All right. Will this actually increase the Sacrificial Steel? Oh, good. Look at that. 275% critical chance by putting both of these on here. Okay. Not bad. We have the space, so I'm doing it right now. We might decide that that's too much later. All right. But 75% critical is not a bad thing. Do we have anything that would be really good with... let's put some critical damage on this. Okay, increase that since we're doing that. And we'll increase our attack speed some. Oh, look, we have a lot of nice things. We can put more critical damage on here. Okay. So now we're doing 5x critical damage. We can increase its attack speed even further, and we have a dash polarity. What's the dash polarity? What do we got here? Let's give it some, oh, I don't know, electricity, I think, would be a good thing to throw on here. So I'll throw some electricity on here. Okay. And now we have 10 more spaces and 2 mod slots left. I could put on another, the third of the gladiator things. The advantage of the gladiator things, notice we've got 20% melee critical. That goes up to 30% melee critical chance per combo multiplier. And our combo durations last longer, if I wanted to do it that way. Or I could just make it a lot faster. Notice its attack speed is pretty good already. I could put Carnus Mandible on here. It has a not great slash chance to start with. What about critical? Let's see. Gladiator Rush. Oh, that's more critical there. Oh. If this was a primary melee weapon, if I was going to be doing this a lot, which it's very distracting to do melee in Razorwing form, I might consider putting Galvanized Steel on it instead of Sacrificial Steel. But even at max, this is 100%. Okay. All right. Plus another 27% times 4. So we're talking 200% some This is 275. I kind of like that. It's a lot better when you combine the two here. So I am not going to worry about that. You know what I'll do here is I'm going to put some toxin on this one and make it corrosive. There we go. So, and do I want the toxin with the molten impact? We've got corrosive already. I'll put gas on it. So we've got now gas, which does damage in an area for a short duration when I go and do melee things. All right. So that is our Diwata. Okay. I'm not even going to bother working on these guys. There's not a lot I can do with them unless I put an Orcan Catalyst on them, which I'm not going to do right now. Again, we will come back to those later. Right now, I want to finish ranking Titania up. All right. So let's do another Sanctuary Onslaught. We're also getting more relics to crack. Big thing. We need relics. All right, and we're in the opening phase, so we actually get here right at the beginning.
Destroy all specimens as quickly as possible. In this chaos, the true nature of these creatures will be revealed, as will yours.
However, I'm the one. Why am I the one, and why am I not going in there? There we go. That was very strange behavior for me being the host. All right, so we go right into 4. And get high so that we are not affected by the nullifier bubbles. Oh, I need to give her more range, I think. I need to put a stretch on her, I think. Because I do not have the range to do most of the target. But look at that. We're firing much, much better than we were before. There's one. Need to find another enemy. There we go. So now our thorns are doing very nicely. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. You can see our all right. Look at this. Kill all those nullifiers. Anytime we see one, we want to kill it. Oh, I like this tile, because we can fly high. I think we need to start cycling again. Oh, nope.
Opened a new data
Another high room. I like high rooms. All right. And that way we aren't affected by status effects. We just need to kill a bunch of things now. I love this. I can hover over the center and they can't even reach me. As long as I make sure that I don't run out of energy, I'm in really good shape here. This map is very good for me. But we do have to worry about, one. And we have to really recast our stuff. And here we go again. Alright, maybe not. Where is this conduit?
A data conduit is open. Go now.
Oh, I'm almost out of energy. I need more energy. That's not a good thing. My energy is low for some reason. I'm not sure why my energy is so low. But that door, this is my stand. Okay. Go to zone 4.
Our experiment moves to a new zone.
Alright. So we need more energy before I can really start doing things. You know, you could drop some energy. I would like that. I'm not getting a lot of energy drops on this one. And we're not getting my procs on them either. There's some energy. Now we're talking. And the reason I'm shooting faster now is because I just used one of my abilities. That's zone 4.
Is experiment torture? Lab rats also feel pain, yet their suffering creates knowledge. If the lessons learned today save lives in the future, then the ends justify my means.
That saves me from status effects for a bit. There we go. Now that's at 26 seconds. I'm very happy about the added duration on my one. You may notice, by the way, that the Dex Pixia is considered an ability for purposes of killing things.
I have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately.
Alright.
Efficiency is failing. I need
I'm running out of efficiently. That's what I get. But I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. Alright.
Hunter, you exceed expectations. You are far more exciting and complex than any
And we have
specimen in my
max
century.
ranked our Titania. And gotten yet more relics that could be unlocked to get Void Traces. That one has Lavos Prime. This one has a Nautilus Prime. We can unlock another one of these. So, we've ranked those weapons up. We've ranked up pretty much everything in one swell foop. Alrighty. Let us go and do some Aya farming. I'll do a couple of missions of that. Before I do that, however, I'm going to finish ranking up and modding Titania. Now, I am noticing that Titania could really make use of a stretch. Notice, however, this is an Exilus mod. So if I use my Exilus Warframe adapter here, and I put this up here, I can now put a stretch on here, range. And I could put Augur Reach on here, or I could put stretch. If I put Augur Reach on here, okay, what that means is that when we spend energy, it gets converted into shields, okay? But it doesn't give us much range. I'm going to stick that on there anyway, just because now 80% of our energy, okay, because we have 2 auger things, is converted into shields. So when we do, and notice that also includes the energy we are using for our flight mode, okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to constantly be increasing our shields with this, hopefully, if I remember how that works. So we're in really good shape right now in terms of this. I could even put some points into this if I really wanted to. Why? I don't know. We're never going to use aim gliding for anything that we're doing here, okay? And the added points, as far as I know, let's just double check on that. I'm pretty sure they don't increase that reduces damage. The only reason we're doing that, okay, this mod on here is for the reduced damage while airborne, okay? I could remove that if I wanted to and replace it with something else that might be more effective. Might not be a bad idea, even though I know it's reduced by 20%. They're still not hitting us all that much while airborne. Okay, so we have options. We could put preparation on here. Gives us more maximum energy to start with. Okay, which means whenever we go into a mission, we immediately can go into Razor Wing mode and have quite a bit of energy to work with. I could increase our ability strength. It's not all that useful in this case. And Aviator would give us the same reduced damage while airborne at 40% without having to have the other things. I'm going to put preparation up here just because it makes sense for Titania to have more energy. All right, the Dexpixia. Dexpixia has 4 more spaces now. I could continue to rank these up if I wanted to, which I might want to, but I'm not going to right now. Same with the Dewata. The Dewata, I actually have a space here that I could throw a 4 mod into, which... that 4-meter range is pretty darn good, I just realized. So if we put reach on there, that goes 4.3, and not that much, with just 4. If I had more, I might put that on there. Nothing's really standing out and saying, I must have this. Ooh, extra puncture. And I can rank that up twice. It just does a lot more damage now. All right, the Tetra and the Quats we can swap out for... We ran out of weapons. Primary weapons. We have not run out of secondary weapons. Oh, and we were also ranking up the Branco Prime. I'm going to put that back in there. Okay. Were we ranking up anything else on this one that I have forgotten? Yes, we were. We're ranking up the Cernos. I'm going to put that in there now. Okay. I'll leave the Paracesis in here. Actually, I don't even need to keep that one. Let's rank up the Galatine on here. Actually, we were ranking up the Graham. So I'll put those 3 back in for purposes of ranking up, and let us go use Titania on. See how Titania works in the open world. Notice we won't have to do Arcwing at all here. We're in Titania mode here. So I'm going to go to navigation. I'm going to go to Zoom out. We're going to go to Deimos. We're going to farm some Aya on Deimos. And I'm going to go to Necrolysis 18 because it's nice and calm. Okay, let's go to Mother. And look at her bounties. And her bounties say, oh, let's go do this one. Anomaly retrieval.
So be it.
Let's see how Titania can handle
I'm sure you've apprehended
this.
by now that
You know, I don't know if I've ever
not
taken
as it should
Titania
be.
out in Deimos, so this could be an
Several
interesting.
anomalous objects worthy of study have come up in recent scans. Lloyd can take you through the retrieval process.
Uh-oh, excavators, and I'm not there. So the downside of Titania
Mining sequence complete.
is I cannot easily pick up and transport things like the energy stuff.
Excavator reports. Mining sequence complete. Has been made by all excavators.
Okay, so excavators are done.
Hey then, Mr. Smarty Pants. All of the excavators made it through their cycles. You rock at this. Pun fully intended.
You can see it. They go pretty far.
This researcher close by. Let's rock soon. I bet he'll help us if we help him.
Someone's here! I'm saved! Wait, you are here to help? What a relief! I was expecting to get my head bitten off at any moment. While you're here, can you help me collect some samples? Just a few, and then we're gone. I swear. I swear, if the Entrati were demanding samples... Ooh, there's one. Pick it up, quick. Beautiful. Now we just need a few more like it.
Nice thing about the bite wings is they do show you where things are. Boy, we're not getting good sample out of this. Normally this goes a lot faster.
That should do it. Hand the samples over to me, please. Here we go. Processing. Oh, I hate it here. Hate it. I would give anything to get off this forsaken spot. Samples uploaded, I'm going to lie down.
Okay.
Well done. Full sample upload complete.
And there's Samaya.
Be invaluable in cleansing Deimos. I am detecting Grineer transmissions in the area. Somewhat panicked ones, to be precise. Please investigate and render assistance. We are mutual enemies of the infestation.
Oh, this good. So close. And not dead yet. Up for contest? See who killed most infested first. Yeah?
doubled the Grineer's kill count and saved the day. A salutary lesson in lethality I'm sure they won't forget. I have detected a nearby cache that may be the source of an anomaly. Kindly locate it.
The infestation's got that box gripped tight. Blast that sucker!
The infestation is protecting itself with a sort of barrier membrane. Move inside the barrier before attempting to damage the infestation. As I predicted, no harm can be inflicted from outside the infested barrier. Proceed inside. The growth over the cache is seemingly invulnerable. Look for any infested tumors linked to it. I have detected these tumors are maintaining a grip on the cache. You will need to
Another
press
Aya.
them.
So that's 2 Aya out of that this mission.
No, you cannot breach the... You cannot breach the infestation from outside its protective barrier. Excellent! You should be able to retrieve the cache now. A job well done. You have exceeded projected expectations.
Wow! You got all the pieces and the big puppy too. I wonder what it's been chewing on to get like that.
According to the scan data, this is the final location. Whatever is buried here represents the most unique anomaly detected. Please proceed with extraction. We call this a purifier. Once powered up, it establishes a harmonic with local fauna in order to extract data.
We'll see if I'll be able to do this. I don't know if I can actually... I can't do the power. There goes somebody. He's about to put the power in.
Purifier operational. Prevent any infested from interfering with it.
Ow. Oh. I don't care about the affinity. That was me being foolish.
Alright.
And we got a third Aya out of that, so that's pretty nice.
I am pleased. I suppose you should have a reward for your efforts.
I'm quite thrilled with being able to get 3 Aya out of one of those missions. Now I'm going to go until about 7 and take a break for dinner. And then I'll probably come back and do another 2 hours or so after that. And almost all of it is going to be this mission, farming for Aya. Because we need a lot of Aya. So now we have 8 Aya. Hey, let's go and do another one.
You are here to assist. I do appreciate one who is not afraid of a little work. I'm sure you've apprehended by now that Deimos is not as it should be. Several anomalous objects worthy of study have come up in recent scans. Lloyd can take you through the retrieval process.
There! That one dropped a sample. Grab it. Perfect. Now we need to grab some more samples, just to be sure.
Oh, really? I'll take it.
That's more than enough. I'm in your debt, my gargantuan metal friend. Fantastic! I'm starting the data upload. This always draws infected, so keep me safe if you wouldn't mind. Done and done. Every sample uploaded. Science and your enchanted friend owe you a debt. Huzzah!
Well done. Full sample upload complete. This data will be invaluable in cleansing Deimos. I am detecting Grenier transmissions in the area. Somewhat panicked ones, to be precise. Please investigate and render assistance. We are mutual enemies of the infestation.
Friends now? 10 no? We kill infested. You kill infested. See who's best. Yes?
achieved double the Grineer's kill count and saved the day. A salutary lesson in lethality I'm sure they won't forget. The anomaly appears to be buried. You will need to use an excavator to reach it. I have detected a high concentration of resources in this area. Dispatching excavator units for exploitation.
One of the diggers ran out of juice. We better see what we can find to power it up again.
Excavator power levels acceptable. Mining sequence restarted. An excavator has completed its digging cycle. An excavator has completed its digging cycle. Full excavation of site complete. An excellent haul.
Well, okay then, Mr. Smarty Pants. All of the excavators made it through their cycles. You rock at this. Pun fully intended.
I have detected a nearby cache that may be the source of an anomaly. Kindly locate it.
The infestation's got that box gripped tight. Blast that sucker!
Interesting. There is a sporoidal barrier protecting the infestation. Get inside it before attacking. The growth over the cache is seemingly invulnerable. Look for any infested tumors linked to it. No, you cannot breach the... You cannot breach the infestation from outside its protective barrier. I have detected these tumors are maintaining a grip on the cache. You will need to burst them.
That should be enough. Try and break open the box again.
No, 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 you cannot breach the... You cannot breach the infestation from outside its protective barrier. Excellent! You should be able to retrieve the cache now. Efficiently procured. The additional cache contents should prove invaluable.
Wow! You got all the pieces and the big puppy too. I wonder what it's been chewing on to kill like that.
According to the scan data, this is the final location. Whatever is buried here represents the most unique anomaly detected. Please proceed with extraction.
When it's got juice, a purifier upsets the plants, and they stick their tongues out to taste what's different. Power it up. We'll see.
Keep the motile infested at bay while the purifier does its work.
Ah. It was here. Oh. Not in time. Ooh, what hit me? I didn't have my one up. Ah, not fast enough. Get the ones on the outer edge.
All done. You even got some extra.
And extra aya.
So smooth.
Lloyd tells me you have retrieved the samples I wanted. I am pleased. I suppose you should have a reward for your efforts.
Oh, that's a track. I don't want to bother with a track. All right, for that one, we only got 2 Aya, but every little bit counts. And I think at this point, this is a good breaking point for right now. And I will return to this in somewhere between a half an hour to an hour. I'm going to exit the Necrolisc. And then I will be signing out. And I will be seeing you again, like I said, in half an hour to an hour. Once I've finished having dinner. So this is Steve, your Grumpy Old Warframe, signing off.